Also missing from the picture were the Beastie Boys, Def Jam's first platinum-selling group. Although they spent only 3 years at the label, they left one of the most indelible marks on it. Mike D, MCA, and Ad Rock were completely changed men from the young, bratty, and wild kids who toured the country in 1987 with giant Budweiser cans as stage props, a dancing girl in a cage, and an inflatable phallus. They had developed a varied repertoire as recording artists for Capitol Records, to which they signed in 1989. These days, they were family men. 18 years after their multi-platinum phenomenon Licensed to Ill, the Beasties were still recording and releasing new material. At the time of the Vanity Fair shoot, they were working on their eagerly anticipated 6th album, To the Five Boroughs, their first full-length release in 7 years. Now considered the elder statesmen of rap instead of the rebellious punk kids of their early years, the Beasties had an entirely new generation of fans, many of whom were born after the Beasties' first album was released. Bill Adler, Def Jam's former publicist, had tried to convince the Beasties to take part in the shoot, but to no avail. The trio simply refused to put aside their long-standing grudge against Rubin and Simmons over a royalties lawsuit dating back to 1988. Boy, they talk about their newfound sense of being, and I thought that part of that was about letting go and being positive, says Cohen. They would have had a really great time. Indeed, all those who were present were feeling elated. Rubin and Simmons seemed like old friends who hadn't seen each other in a while, recalled Tom Araya. In the photograph, Simmons is leaning his head on Rubin's shoulder in the warm, familiar way of an old friend. You could see that they were both very proud of the fact that they were able to do what they'd done. Big old smiles on their faces, says Araya. In fact, the idea to recreate the dorm room for the photo shoot in a downtown warehouse came from Rubin himself, who 20 years after creating the Def Jam logo was still exercising a kind of proud ownership. I was looking at everybody thinking, damn, I didn't know we were a part of history in the making, Araya recalled. I can't believe that we were at the beginning of something humongous. I just kind of sat there and looked at everybody. Chuck D, Flavor Flav, LL, the Run DMC guys, like, fuck. So much had changed since those early days, most notably Russell Simmons, who was now a brand unto himself, with a hand in film, finance, fashion, and even politics. Rick Rubin had come to be regarded as one of the greatest rock producers of the century. His status in the music industry was almost mythical, as he produced such artists as Johnny Cash and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. LL Cool J had become a film and TV star. Public Enemy had severed ties with Def Jam in 2000 after 14 years with the label and abandoned the traditional music distribution system. But it was Def Jam Records itself that had gone through the most dramatic transformation. The Def Jam of the 1980s, when it was still a boutique-style, but fully operational, label with a small roster of artists and a handful of full-time staff who wore many hats around the office and had no clear job titles, was essentially obsolete. The fact that we had any success at all is remarkable and a real testament to how good the work was, because everything else was poorly handled, out of ignorance and inexperience, Rubin recalled of the early days. Def Jam was now the hip-hop arm of a new label known as Island Def Jam Group. Island Records is the rock and country arm, under the Universal Music Group, the world's largest record company. From Tokyo to Berlin, London to Amsterdam, Island Def Jam has secured offices around the world and has become a true global empire in the new millennium. Its Midtown Manhattan headquarters are a picture of corporate music at its most well-oiled, successful, and exciting. Glass-paneled doors, shiny oak desks, luxury details like a juice espresso bar with an adjacent magazine wall, breathtaking views of downtown Manhattan. It doesn't get much more corporate than occupying 3 floors in the towering Polygram building on Manhattan's West 50th Street. Yet, despite going corporate, vestiges of Def Jam's creative spirit and do-it-yourself attitude remain. Most of the executives don't have MBAs or even college degrees. Some had made their way to the top from humble beginnings, like sweeping floors at a hair salon. Like the greatest of American success stories, Def Jam...